DSV AS is a Danish transport company who has their headquarters in Hedehusene. They are among the biggest transport companies worldwide, and they have established their own locations in more than 80 countries. DSV is listed on the Copenhagen Stock Exchange, and they are part of the C20 index. DSV AS is a public limited company, and their most essential owners, who owns more than 5% each, are DSV, BlackRock Investment Management UK Limited, Wellington Management Group LLP, and their business is a service company.
It's kind of hard to apply the value chain to DSV, as it's easily used on production companies. And since DSV is not a production company, it was a bit tricky. But let's start with the inbound logistics. The main inbound logistics is concerning storage logistics for other companies and storage of the goods that they have to transport around the world. Inbound logistics also concerns getting the actual orders from the customers. The operations is when DSV is doing the actual pickup of goods from the customers, so the operational part happens when DSV collects the goods and the logistics orders from their customers. The outbound logistics is when DSV transports the goods from their warehouses to the customers. This means that the inbound and operations with getting the order and collecting it has already happened, and now they are ready to deliver it. Marketing and sales. DSV is a very traditional company when it comes to marketing. They focus very much on their specific target groups, which is both private consumers and larger companies. A part of their marketing is their traditional trucks with the DSV logo on the side, driving around all over the world, and it's the same with their containers with the DSV logos on. DSV is a very service-minded company, and they always want to have the best customer relation, and you can trace and even see everything you have ever ordered on the website. Every order you make on DSV is organized on the website, so you at all times can log into your account and see what's happening with your goods. Consumers can contact DSV anytime at every given day, and DSV does everything in their power to always give the best service possible.
1. The article is about DSV acquiring the company UTi and merged the companies in February 2016. The company have now seen an increase in their revenue, which they are very satisfied with. DSV gained satisfying results in all of their three divisions, sea, land and air. CEO Jens Bjørn Andersen say that they are expecting an increase in income about 21 to 29% in 2017, while also gather around 1.5 billion DKK per year from the fusion. 40% should be realized in 2016, 40% in 2017, and the last 20% in 2018. The acquisition gained DSV a revenue increase from 51 billion in 2015 to 68 billion in 2016. Article 2 is a continuation of Article 1. The article is stating how big of a success the acquisition of UTi have been and how it gave DSV a huge amount of money. UTi cost DSV 9.5 billion DKK in the beginning of 2016, and already in the third quarter of 2016, DSV can increase their yearly expectations from 3.3 to 3.5 billion to an expectation of 3.4 to 3.5 billion DKK. It is basically the ongoing great integration of UTi and DSV that's the reason of the adjustment of the expectations. DSV had a revenue of 50.1 billion kroner and result of 1.8 billion kroner the first 9 months of 2016. This can be compared to the first 9 months of 2015, where DSV only had a revenue of 38.3 billion kroner and result of 1.6 billion kroner.
Due to the fact that DSV acquired UTi as a company, there's been many changes in the reports for the last couple of years. So let's make a financial analysis. The net revenue has gone up to 68 billion, which is an increase of 33%, and the gross profit has increased to 16 billion, which is an increase of 41% from the year before. This increase is very good, but also expected when acquiring a new company. The return on investment is 21.5%, which is a decrease from 26.8% in 2015. So this is probably something they should look out for, as they want to keep this one high. The asset turnover ratio is 167%, which means that DSV is very good at creating value out of their assets. Even though they have many expensive assets, such as ships and planes, they manage to create profit anyway. DSV has a net profit ratio of 23.4%, which is only a slight increase from the year before, but still an increase, so this is satisfying. Also, 23.4% is a high profit ratio compared to other companies. The return on equity has gone down significantly to 13.2% from 23% the year before. This means that the company is less profitable, seen from the shareholders' point of view. And finally, the solvency has decreased to 33.3% from 42.6% from the year before. However, in the years 2012 to 2014, the solvency was around the mid-20s, so this is an overall increase. The high solvency means that they have an easy time meeting their long-term financial obligations. DSV has many departments, and the department with the most growth has been DSV Solutions, with an increase of 84.2% in gross profit. Overall, DSV is doing very well currently, so let's hope the merger works out.
The cash flow of the year 2016 is positive as well as last year, but then there have been a decrease of 1.3 billion DKK. The cash flow from operating activities amount to 1.564 billion kroner, while cash flow from investing activities is much lower at minus 5.244 billion. This shows that a large part of the scheduled cash flows are therefore used in investing activities. This is mainly because of the acquisition of UTi in the beginning of 2016. The cash flows from the financing activities are low but positive, which means they have a positive cash flow on financing. DSV incurred around 4,400 in non-current liabilities and had a repayment on non-current liabilities at around 4,000. Therefore, around 400 in positive cash flow from financing activities. The cash flow of the year is calculated by taking the operating activities, subtracting the investing activities, and adding the financing activities. The cash flow of the year can be satisfying, since the most of the negative cash flow is from the acquisition of UTi, which in the future will grant them a lot of money. Both the operating and financing activities have a positive cash flow, so therefore I would say it is satisfying cash flow, even though it could be better.
Based on our PESTEL analysis, we were able to conclude, or at least highlight, some of the most crucial factors of the world surrounding DSV. In terms of the political and legal factor, we were able to conclude that the government has a huge influence on DSV. This is based on the importance of corruption in terms of government, but also that the government in the countries DSV operate in are showcasing a rational economic policy and thereby having a stable economy as well. A negative example of this can be seen in DSV's annual report for 2014, where the crisis between Russia and Ukraine affected the transport due to USA and the EU countries enforcing sanctions against Russia, which had the effect of decreasing exports to Russia. Moreover, DSV is affected by legislation and regulation in terms of environment, taxes and other types of regulation, such as restrictions of transportation, increased duties on transportation and fuel, which can have both a positive and a negative effect on DSV. In terms of the economical factor, which of course will be crucial in any company, it is essential to look at the countries they are operating in, especially concerning their key numbers, such as the GDP, but also crucial numbers such as the increasing or decreasing price of oil, the currency, and the development within DSV's main sectors of expertise. The environmental factor is especially affected by the increasing trend of being more aware of our actions, which often results in higher cost, but a better brand reputation due to social awareness and responsibility. DSV has certainly increased their focus within the environmental sector and their CSR. Based on the increased focus on CSR, their viewpoint is also affecting the technological factor. By focusing on CSR, a company like DSV would often have to focus on their use of, for example, CO2, only to mention one area of focus, which results in developing a new technology in order to keep the company efficient. This is for a fact something DSV has done, and since 2010 they have recognized an improvement of 33%. Technology has overall a crucial effect in the transport business, since these types of companies will always have to increase their logistics more efficiently in order to stay ahead of competitors. A great technology within a company will help with IT, logistics, distribution, cost, and so on.
Make a SWOT analysis. You should include the information you found in the questions above. So the strengths are that they have their offices in over 80 countries. They have over 22,000 employees. They are acquiring of their competitors. And they have increased focus on CSR. So the weaknesses are that DSV is very dependent on the European markets, and it is hard to differentiate in a market like this. So opportunities are the acquisition of UTi and to become a market leader. The threats are a possible threat of UTi failing to fusion with DSV, and another one is highly affected by legislation and regulation.